So there's going to be times in life where you're a little overwhelmed, and hopefully you have lots and lots of those times in your life, because it's going to make all of the difference in terms of what we are capable of handling. Dental school for me, in a lot of ways, was like drinking through a hose. And as you can imagine, drinking through a hose is basically impossible for a human being, because we only have so much volume in our mouth and our brains. And the funny part is I've spent about $500,000 on my education so far, and about another $60K on further education, because the things that I'm looking to do, frankly, dental school has not taught me. And so I'm here in Phoenix, Arizona, at a 9-figure boardroom conference. I have my buddy Zach in the back here. He's a business partner. Nassim, we met at the conference, and really, I feel a little overwhelmed, and it's good. I always think it's better to be overwhelmed in terms of information, because there's always time to break it down. There's always that subconscious stuff that gets instilled that really is going to be useful down the line. So my goal, my intention for the conference itself was to make 40 contacts. The cool part about going with other people that also have that intention is that you can culminate the contacts and get even more out of it, ideally through those individual relationships that you form, but also just the things, the personalities that are there, the ideologies that are there. And so the first goal is always to follow up and to capitalize on them. And the difficulty is prioritizing that for the number of hours it's required to actually make sure the schedule is full. So my goal, in particular with most of these contacts, is going to be doing podcasts with the people that I've met, because that's just more information, more knowledge, and really the longer term goal is to make a network, a really large, useful network of people that are aspiring to do great things. And hopefully that will provide information for y'all and me in terms of growing as an individual. And so, what is it, like 8, 9 o'clock at night? I woke up around 5 a.m. in the morning, and all day has been a constant learning new things that I need to implement, new things that I need to know about myself. And also, after those chunks of basically class for hours and hours on end, networking for hours and hours on end. So it can be exhausting, for sure. And if you're a young business owner, if you're a young leader in any capacity, you know that when it comes down to it, it's better to go out and do those things than to not do them. Because these things happen in isolation, and they happen as small sprints in a lot of ways. And then we have all this time afterwards to capitalize on them. So one of the main rules of networking is you really want to make the very most out of that connection that you formed. And that comes with following up that night. So the next half an hour or so, I'm going to send out more text messages asking for the first and last name of those people that I texted in the moment, to make sure that I instill, hey, I care about you, because they don't know that I made 40, 50 contacts today, right? They think that perhaps I'm the only one that contacted them, or perhaps out of the 10 people that they know, that, you know, if this person genuinely cares, then it's my prerogative to show them that. And it's a lot of responsibility, and it's a lot of kind of being hard on ourselves to make sure that we're moving forward. And our team members are moving forward. And I think as young men in society that are pushing those limits, the natural inclination is to be quite hard on ourselves. And so I'll say to you that the boon, the healing in that making that mental, spiritual muscle stronger comes from the love that we have in our relationships. It comes from the love that we have with our families, with our friends. And it's very, very, very important, my friend, to have the emotional intelligence, to have the connection with self and the connection with others, the awareness to know when you need that, and how to get that back into your life. And a lot of it really just comes from gratitude. Gratitude for the situation, gratitude for the people that we're spending the time with, and right, and the people that love us, and gratitude for us willing to give that experience to ourselves. Really, genuinely loving ourselves for being kind enough to offer that experience, to invest in ourselves in a very serious way. So if you haven't gone to conferences so far and you know that you want to achieve some crazy stuff and you aren't making those strides in the last 6 to 12 months that some of these legendary people in society frankly do, then I would recommend going to these conferences. The 10X Growth Con, Cardone Ventures, even if you go to Tony Robbins events, if you read a book, whatever it is, invest in yourself, invest in yourself, invest in yourself. But don't become just addicted to the information. Don't become addicted to the information. Become addicted to acting on the information, because that's really the difference. That's the difference between making the next 6 months actually useful in your acceleration. And so that's something I tell you guys because it's something I'm telling myself, right? If I don't spend the time now to utilize all these cards, all these connections that I've made and the information that I have, then I'm merely addicted to the idea of becoming that person rather than the process of actually becoming that person. That's implementation. It's all about implementation. So it's what time is it right now? Yeah, it's 10:22. It's about an hour past my bedtime. And so I know that I value the sleep probably more than I do the immediate reaching out, because frankly, the reaching out is going to be a little cold if I do it right now. And who doesn't love a little text message saying, I care about you, in the morning? The other thing is, when it comes to making the most of these opportunities and connections and making sure that we implement them to our vision, the fastest way to get to where you want is slowly. Do it with peace in mind. Do it with intention, but peace in mind. Whatever it is that you want to get out of life, whatever pace it is that you can handle, do that. There was a quote at the end of a song, don't do drugs that are harder than you. Meeting people and setting massive visions in life, those are drugs too, in some ways. What they provide us with is tremendous amounts of perspective and potentially agony for the different perspective.
You don't leave college to learn stuff?
Yeah, it's listen, your formalized education is not going to teach you as much as the people that are successful. Your formalized education is really coming from people that took the safe route. The same things that people are doing in politics, same things that people have been doing for the last thousands of years. Yeah. Thousands and thousands of years to make sure that we're comfortable rather than implementing and actually forging change in society. So I have some big goals of trying to convince y'all on the other side of this camera to actualize your potential. And the only way that I can be that voice of reason is if I actualize my own, first and foremost. But also if I learn what it is that those people that have actualized theirs beyond what I have done, what philosophies and what education they got in order to become that excellent source of information, that legendary human being. So I say to you that if you're in high school watching this video, you don't need to go to college to make a lot of money. If you're in college and you've gone through the process, network with the people you have locally, but also network with those people that you see online that are really quite successful. A really interesting thing that came up is when you binge someone's content and you're a good judge of character, you'll be able to see if someone's lying. If you watch my, what do I have up, like 600 videos right now?
More than that, you have 700 on Instagram.
Yeah, so, all of that stuff, not one time have I lied about my net worth. Not one time have I lied about how hard it is and what the implementations need to be, what type of philosophy you need to have. And I do this really as a journal for a single human's perspective. Right? It's just my perspective. And you got your own. And you got your own life, you got your own people to love. So take it in, fertilize your soil, so to speak. Move at your own pace. And make sure to live a life that's actually satisfying to you. Because all the money in the world, all the connections in the world won't mean shit if you're not being true to yourself. Actualize your potential catalyst. This world needs you. Take care of yourself.